Hi, welcome back everybody. This is my week 6 highlights of our fantasy football league. I hope you had a good football week. I hope a great week going on. Figured I'd do my best Cam Newton impression and put on my Under Armour Charged Cotton here for you. No jersey this week. Too lazy to run upstairs and go grab one. I was going to let everybody know I'm going to be on Skype on Sundays for most of the day if you want to talk football. My name's Rondog24. I also wanted to let everybody know that either Michael Vick or Cam Newton could be on the trading block if you're interested. I see a few of you guys looking for some quarterback help. I've got 3. I just figured maybe somebody wants something for them. Otherwise, I might drop them and we'll see what you guys do. The guy that I get all the highlights from always seems to forget the Ravens game, so I'm sorry about the lack of highlights. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this week's set of videos, and here they are. Alright, we got Nick and David, and Nick should be happy this week. His quarterback didn't get hurt, but he did get benched. Here's one of his 4 picks for the day. He didn't last very long. Cedric Benson had 57 yards and scampered for this 1-yard touchdown. I feel like every week I'm saying Mike Wallace had a touchdown catch. He had 76 yards on that touchdown. Mr. Chan also had Jimmy Graham at tight end. He set a new record for tight ends last week with 4 consecutive 100-yard games. Here we see him taking out his coach. Peyton suffered a broken tibia and a torn MCL. That's just nasty. Graham went on to catch 7 balls for 124 yards while Coach sat on the bench. Nick had Santonio Holmes going in the Monday night's game against the Dolphins. Here we see him on a 38-yard touchdown catch. He only managed 63 yards receiving, so Nick ended at 118. David had Matt Ryan going here, hitting Ovi Mugkiwi for a 1-yard touchdown pass. Here on a nice 33-yard pass to Harry Douglas, who had a good day. Ryan finished with 163 passing yards and 1 rushing touchdown. Hakeem Nicks had this nice 64-yard catch. He had racked up 96 receiving yards. Ray Rice had a big day with 101 yards rushing and 60-yard receivings, and David's been putting it together every week since the draft, just like this guy did for years. That was one of my favorites growing up. Here we got Eric trying to give John his first loss of the season. Little Fox had Brady and the boys going. Here we see a 5-yard pass to Welker to the corner of the end zone, which ends up getting reviewed by Belichick. Brady ended with 289 yards, 2 touchdowns, but had 2 interceptions. Welker had 45 yards and that TD getting it inside the pylon. Here's Brady's second touchdown to Aaron Hernandez, which actually ended up giving Eric points, and just like Eric, he's going to make it rain. But unfortunately for Eric, Michael Turner had a huge day for John. He had 139 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had a 22-yard TD score to go with this 2-yard run up the middle for Pater. John ended up with posting 134 points. So Eric would have to put up 135, which would be a first. He had started Manning this time, and here on that 64-yard pass, he had 292 yards passing, but no touchdowns. He finally started the right running back this week with Frank Gore, who had 141 rushing yards. He had this 47-yard run. He ended up scoring 2 plays later. Here on a nice 56-yard run against the Lions D, which went nicely with Aaron Hernandez's 68 receiving yards and the touchdown. Eric only managed to get 113 points this week, so John ended up winning. I should have played this clip last week when he went 5-0, but he's now Hawaii 6-0. Up is Gordy and me. Gordy is one of the hottest quarterbacks out there. Breeze has thrown for a record 350 yards in 4 straight games. This one he had 383 yards in this one 38-yard touchdown pass to Colston. Breeze also had 3 picks and rushed for 21 yards. Here on an 18-yard pass to Graham, which he has to skyfall. Megatron went for 113 yards with no touchdowns. Fred Jackson scores on this 80-yard touchdown run. He had 121 rushing yards and 47 yards receiving. Forte had a nice day with 87 yards rushing and 36 yards receiving. Dallas Clark had this 1-yard touchdown catch and 53 yards, so Gordy put up a nice big number. Gordo put up the top score. Meanwhile, my team is struggling. I had Cam Newton, who here on a 31-yard pass to Shockey. He had 237 yards passing with 3 picks. This another one to Shockey down the middle for 15 yards. He had this 14-yard touchdown run to go with 47 yards rushing. Jordy Nelson had 104 yards receiving in this 93-yard touchdown. Steven Jackson had 96 yards rushing and 29 yards receiving, but it wasn't enough to top Gordo. Gordy and his team are like that cool kid with the nice hair and that with the car that has all the gadgets in it.
Knight Rider, a shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who does not exist. Michael Knight, a young loner on a crusade to champion the cause of the innocent, the helpless, the powerless.
In our next matchup, it's Zach and Kevin. Kevin went with Sanchez starting in the Monday night game. He threw for 201 yards and 1 TD here on a 27-yard pass to Dustin Keller. Sanchez also had 5 yards rushing, and they all came on this 5-yard dive to the end zone. Trevor Mendenhall had a huge day here on an 8-yard run to the right pile on the score. And on this one, it's a nice halfback dive with the pulling guard nailing the linebacker, and Mendenhall going for a career-long 68-yard run. He finished with 146 yards rushing on the day. Bobbick also had the Jets defense going on Monday night, and they had a pretty big day. Here is a 100-yard return for a touchdown by Darrell Revis. The Jets D also had 4 sacks, 2 picks including that one, and 1 fumble recovery. So that was a pretty nice job by the Jets defense to score Zach some points. He had 131 going up against Kevin. But Kevin does have one of the hottest guys going in Aaron Rodgers. His first touchdown pass is a 35-yarder to James Jones. His second is the 93-yard TD pass to Jordy Nelson. Rodgers once again finished over 300 with 316 and 3 TDs, the last one to Donald Driver. He had 15 yards rushing on the day. Darren McFadden had a nice day with 91 yards rushing and this 4-yard touchdown. Javid Best finished Sunday with 37 yards rushing and 73 yards receiving. Kevin's team is like a bunch of tough guys blowing things up every week.
If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the A-Team.
Last but not least, we got Mike and Sean, and we're going to look at Mike starting off. He had Romo going this week here on a 1-yard touchdown pass to Whitman. He had 317 yards and 1 interception, 17 yards rushing. Ahmad Bradshaw had a huge day. He had 3 1-yard touchdown runs, hiding in there for his third one. He had 104 yards rushing and 26 yards receiving. And Mama, it's that man again. Devin Hester taking it back, 99 yards against the Vikings. They didn't have a chance. And just like Boomer used to say, they're not going to get him. Jeremy Maclin had a nice day too with 101 yards receiving. The Bears defense had 5 sacks and 1 safety, only allowed 10 points. Mike put up 149, which was pretty nice on the day. Come up with Flacco this week, who had this 1-yard touchdown run and had 305 yards passing. AJ Green had an 11-yard touchdown catch to go with 51 yards. And he had this nice 31-yard punt return, but not getting any points for it. Sean left Golden on the bench with 26 points, and Hillis got hurt. Found what the low score means, and Fox is going to win. Your team is so sporadic, it's like there's 2 mice living in your brain.
Gee, Ray, what do you want to do tonight?
Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
The Pinky and the Brain, yes, Pinky and the Brain. One is a genius, the other's insane. They're laboratory mice, their teams have concise. They're Pinky and the Brain, brain.
All right, I hope you guys all enjoyed it. We'll see you again next week. Coming up next, I got the matchups, and we got a pretty good one coming up, a couple teams 4-2. And I hope you liked the last little video clip. See you next week.
Are 5-1 for the first time since 1998. Game 2, America's Game of the Week, coming up after these messages.
Went to congratulate Coach Harbaugh and got shoved out of the way. Didn't expect an obscenity at that point, so it was a surprise to me at the end of the game.
Who shoved you and who shouted the obscenity?
I'll just leave it right there.